There isn't. You know what? You know what used to be? You know what it used to be? Borrowed
BT.
time. Meta perk changes. All right, great.
Unless Daya's right, and there is like some perk we're not thinking of that can make unhook
There
them
isn't.
stay.
You know what? You know what used to be? You know what it used to be? Borrowed
BT.
time. Because
Yeah.
you know what borrowed time used to do was give both of you the endurance effect. But now it doesn't. That's what they should have done to borrowed time. They should have, instead of it, because like I read borrowed time and what it does. I'll get to borrowed time. Yeah, that's what they should have done to borrowed time.
It'll be interesting to keep an eye on it because I have the same impression of like that is the immediate fear of looking at the changes here is that they're not going to succeed in the camping thing. But
I think they just forgot. I think they put way too much focus on the person coming off the hook. That was their entire thought. You can tell their entire thought process was laser focused on these people are complaining about getting farmed off the hook, but then they forgot about the person who's taking them off of the hook, I think.
Because, you know, if it is that you have to take a trade, well, then they're just going to face camp that person.
They're just going to face that person. Exactly. It's a cycle of face camping to where where two people are just guaranteed in trouble.
I hope that we're wrong about that, or that they make a fix in the PTB. But right now, it on paper definitely looks punishing to unhook someone who's getting camped.
Because if that is what happens, the play is not to have all four people dance around the hook. It's then have two other people pounding out gens. Right. But
that's what we're supposed to do now if someone's getting camped, but we have a way around it with Dead Hard.
Yeah, so one person can go in and make a good play, but now you can't. I think it's eliminated that ability for one person to go in and make a play without a trade. I think a trade is almost guaranteed unless the killer just completely fucks up. Now, I mean, the thing is, the majority of killers who are face camping are probably not the best anyway, so there's a good chance they just make a mistake there. But if a good player face camps, I think the unhooker is in a lot of trouble. Meta perk changes. Okay, so obviously these are your meta perks. Got it. Everyone knows these. DH, borrowed time, D-strike, Iron Will. Self-care, I'm a little surprised at. Spine chill makes sense, sure. This graph, I don't know. What am I looking at?
This color, okay. So the axes, they're not labeled. Like that's just what
these are just numbers. Okay, so
numbers.
we get
the font is not great. But the biggest issue here. Where do I even start?
I don't know what I'm looking at. So what is over here is percentage of loadouts.
What
okay.
Is that interval? Like why does it go from 11,119 to 2 million, 4 million, 6 million? And then the color choices are just like what? And yeah, there's
number of matches. Yeah, 11,119 to 8 million. Okay, sure. So we've really
So the x-axis is definitely MMR, and I think it's MMR. I don't actually.
You think it is? Oh, it is because I think 2K is max MMR.
Yeah,
I think
it's left side is plebs, right side is top 1%, middle is average.
So where are we looking at? So what is, I'm assuming, so dead hard?
We're probably the top.
Yeah,
10,
this makes
20%.
sense.
So, the right side of the graph is what we experience, and it lines up. Like, I think the data is sound. It's just
no, it is, but it's just you got to work a little too hard to look at it. Where's Windows fall here? Windows is, well, these colors are like Windows and Adrenaline are the same fucking color.
Those two yellow, exactly the same.
Those are the same color. Yep, they literally used it. Like, did they run? You didn't run out of colors. There are more. I promise.
Yeah.
You could have used a green or an orange.
Or a dark blue,
I legitimately don't know which one of these is Windows and which one is Adrenaline. I'm actually surprised at the
Can you remove your camera for 1 second so I can see which ones we're looking at?
All I'm saying is the dev that made this needs to be fired immediately.
Yeah, so we're looking. I'm trying to look at Windows. I'm trying to look at Windows and Adrenaline here. They're literally the same color.
Spine Chill and Iron Will, same colors.
Yeah, Spine Chill and Iron Will are the most. I didn't know it was that one, but it's Spine Chill and Iron Will.
And then Windows and Adrenaline, and then Unbreakable and Sprint Burst.
Windows and Adrenaline. I'm very surprised at the lack of use of both of those perks.
Why is there a typo in Boone Circle of Healing, and why do you have certain names that are cut off? Like. Why, like certain ones you cut off, even though you have more space on the screen. Like this is a graph that you make in 5 minutes to show at the lunch meeting.
What's this one? Oh, these are killer ones.
Yeah.
What's locked?
I also wondered what locked was. I spent a
What is
lot of
this?
time trying to
Okay.
figure that out.
So I'm sure what locked means is the fact that at lower MMRs, there's killers who won't have the 4th perk unlocked, as in they're not past level 10 or 15 or whatever unlocks it. Why did they think that was relevant to show here? I have no fucking idea.
Dude, there are 5 colors on this one. They're the same fucking color. Like, I literally have no idea what I'm looking at. Okay.
Oh, shit.
A nurse's calling being this high. What? No. A little surprised at that, but okay. All right. Anyway, this is kind of hurting my eyes to look at, so I'm gonna stop looking at that. Yeah, that's not a good one. Okay, so we got the changes. Barbecue, I think what all they did was just get rid of the blood point grind. So now barbecue is just an info perk. It's not gonna get used. Barbecue is the easiest info perk in the game to play around because people have been playing around it for 5 years now, right? Like, it's so easy to it is telegraphed when barbecue is going to come up. I think it's too easy to play around. It's not going to see play anymore. If people only use me seeing something on barbecue is like a fucking all right, great bonus. That's phenomenal. I just care about my stacks. I'm glad. This is great.
Yeah, this is a great change, though. Yeah,
it's a great change. I don't want to have to use it. Exactly. I hate being forced into using a perk just for blood points. That's phenomenal. I think that's what they say here, right? We do not want blood points to be the driving factor behind perk choices. Yep. Whoops. So that's smart. That's great. So I can take barbecue off my freeze up a perk slot. That's what we need. Did they buff it at all? No. So they literally just took the blood points off, huh? Okay, so that perk is basically dead. That's fine. That's good.
Counteract that entirely with the just quartering amount of.
No, that's fantastic. So again, but like, yeah, the perk itself though, it's done. It's gone. You will not see it.
Do you actually think it's like that bad? Like, you don't think it's going to be used?
Yeah,
because there's other info perks that are better.
Right, it's the worst info perk because again, it's the easiest info perk to play around. Everyone knows how to play around. Like, let's look at Dredge's new perk, opening a locker. The survivors
still stay common in lower ranks, but I agree at higher
MMR. Possibly. Everyone in the game knows how to play around barbecue and chili because again, it's so easy to tell when barbecue and chili is going to happen. But like the other info perks in the game, it's a little harder. I think that the Dredge's opening a locker perk is now better than barbecue and chili because the survivor doesn't. They don't see you doing it. So yeah, barbecue off my list. Ruin. I briefly went over Ruin. This will reduce the power. Okay. Hex Ruin will automatically deactivate once the survivor is killed. Ruin, it's gone. It's dead. Perk sucks anyway. It sucked forever. I can't believe that they even thought that Ruin needed another nerf. That blows my mind. Ruin has already been dead. Now it's completely dead. Ruin it's gone once the survivor is killed. I mean, Ruin is most likely gone before that anyway. But now you don't even have those like 1 out of 10 games where you might just keep Ruin up for the whole game and just dominate because of that. Now that is just gone. So
it might not even be worth looking for. Like, obviously, if you find it, great, but
it's not. Just let your random
just power through the gen because you know if someone dies, you don't have to worry about it. And that's where Ruin is the most impressive, when they get an early kill and you're like, wow, we have 4 generators, 3 people in Ruin. There's 0 chance.
And now it's gone. Yeah. So just let your random ass Meg crouching in the corner die, and it gets rid of Ruin. Phenomenal.
I think seeing either of these nerfs individually might have been a nice step, but again, I'm sure they've tested this internally, but who knows.
So Pop, they just made it now. So now removes 20% of the generator's current progress. That's rough.
I think that's good. I mean, it's good because I'm a survivor main, but like, there's nothing worse than getting a gen to like, 10% and now it's at nothing, right? Like, you've lost everything.
Or 30
yeah,
or 40.
But from what I'm seeing here is that they have nerfed pretty heavily every gen regression perk. And I don't know. I don't know if the 10 seconds and the 2.5% on a kick is enough to counteract that.
Well, they buffed other perks that they hope will take its place, right? Like overcharge.
Okay, I need to look at those.
You're going to get to.
I don't know. Okay. So Pop, it's pretty bad now. I mean, with the fact that you get that static 2% on top as a little bit of a bonus while kicking, maybe is okay. Pop maybe isn't off the menu now. but it's a pretty big hit.
I'd be good with like Tinkerer or something.
Maybe.
Like just so, because now there's really no point in hitting anything under 50. Honestly, anything under 70 isn't really worth it because like 20% of 50, like you're just not getting that much progress. You're only getting 10% progress, which is only a few times what you're going to get without the perk.
Corrupt, they killed it. It's dead. Moving forward, the perk will deactivate once the survivor enters the dying state. That's insane. So on certain killers now, this is just a completely, absolutely useless perk. Any one-shot killer, like if you just are like chainsawing for distance as Hillbilly at the beginning of the game and just randomly hit a Meg, your corrupt is just gone. Garbage.
What if it's Kate you hit?
It doesn't matter who you hit. That's fucking terrible. So that's rough. They killed it. We believe this change will keep corrupt intervention effective in helping the killer build early game pressure while providing a limit to its power. It's not a very overwhelming perk to begin with. Corrupt, that's good though. Corrupt is a boring ass perk. I hate running corrupt. Yeah, it's boring. It's unfun.
I don't know if I had my headset off when they were talking about philosophy behind all of this, but I think there was something I was talking about. Like a big part of it is just like removing things that are unfun.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily about balance. It's just removing things that are unfun.
It is an unfun perk. No one wants to put corrupt on. You're not like, oh, fun interactive gameplay. I blocked some gens.
Correct play at a high level is just like literally AFK, like blendette for a minute and a half.
Yeah, but this makes the perk bad. Yeah, because like, okay, so like maybe if it disabled when someone was hooked, but just entering the dying state doesn't mean that you built a large early game presence. Like there could be 3 people hiding there with a flashlight to blind you when you pick them up, and then your corrupt is gone and you didn't even fucking get the guy. Like there are like maybe on a hook, like maybe a hook state is worth losing a whole perk early in the game, but just being put into the dying state, I do not think is worth losing your entire fucking perk. No, that's bad. That's a rough nerf to corrupt, in my opinion. I think that might be a little extreme on corrupt. I think it's kind of dead now, especially on certain killers. On certain other killers, maybe like certain killers who kind of ramp, like Michael. That's like, I don't really know. Maybe Trapper, where you like you're using that corrupt as time to go and like set up your traps and shit. Like Hag. Any sort of killer who has any sort of ramp into like mid to late game pressure, it could still be useful. Yeah, any sort of setup. Legion, yeah, maybe Legion. Anything like that, maybe it's still useful. But so they've made it still less effective on certain killers, completely ineffective on other killers. So
yeah,
all in all,
it's like niche.
I would try that on Legion.
Yeah, so corrupt, again, I'm glad. I don't want to run corrupt. I don't like it. It's not a fun perk. Tinkerer, though, is a fun perk. This one I'm a little worried about because I do love Tinkerer. Is a popular choice for the information it provides. Being able to prevent a generator from being powered is a game changer, particularly on killers with high mobility. Yes, absolutely. It can, however, become a little oppressive when paired with certain regression perks. Therefore, Tinkerer can now only activate once per generator. But with the base charges increased to 90, killers will have extra time to approach.
Wasn't edited properly. Base charges increased to 90. What the fuck does that mean? I assume that
I have to so basically it is how long you have. Yeah. I think it's how long you have of the
undetectable.
Undetectable, yeah, which was nerfed recently, by the way. It used to be longer, recently got changed to shorter. I'm assuming they've probably just reverted that back to what it was before. But now only once per gen. Ugh. There are many circumstances that I get put into where I tinker a gen more than once, especially when I'm using pain resonance. So that's a pretty rough one. I don't know how I feel about that one. Like, they didn't really take away the essence of the perk, but it is really nice to know where you need to go back to more than one time. I don't know. That's not huge. It's okay. That does make me probably use Tinkerer less, but I'll have to see. Noed, who cares? Perk, okay, it makes for a very effective comeback tool.
Noed change is sick.
Well, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Survivors will now see the Hex Totem's aura within 4 meters upon activation. This range increases to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. We believe this change will keep Noed a strong choice for in-game builds while encouraging survivors to find the totem and attempt the last second save. That's cool. That's fine.
Especially with how big they're making maps now. Like, it's near impossible to find Noed if you didn't preemptively cleanse. And so I think it's, I think that's good that...
That is good, because a lot of times, let's say you're solo surviving and Noed hits, your teammates are just leaving you.
Yeah. Bye.
You're dead. It's a death sentence. They're gone. So that maybe will give them the incentive to potentially go for it.
And this is going to like remove the threat of Noed for us, because like Jess, even before, like now, like yesterday, like you usually find Noed within like 1 or 2 minutes.
I know where all the totems go.
Yeah, Jess is on
so
that
now
shit.
That
instantly.
you have this 24-meter thing, like you're gonna find Noed within 30 seconds on every single map.
Yeah, 30 seconds is like the max amount of time. They'll get like maybe 1 hook with Noed now.
But the nature of Noed, the way we find out he has it is someone got downed, right? Unless, of course, you get hit with an endurance. But like, if someone gets downed with Noed, this way we will probably save them instead of just saying like, sorry, but...
Well, we usually try to save them anyway. But again, this for me is more on like a lower MMR / solo survivor. This is a solo survivor buff, low MMR buff. For sure. That's cool. I'm fine with that. Doesn't really affect me in too much. I don't really use Noed either, so it's fine.
Noed is still useful. It's just not going to get you...
It's not going to give you that free 3K that should have been a 1 or 0, which I think is good. I think that's okay. Now, this one I'm scared of. Pain Resonance. This is my favorite perk in the game. The most recent addition to the meta. Yeah, this is the only good fucking killer perk y'all have released in like 5 chapters. Literally. It's the only thing that anyone has given a shit about in like 5 chapters. Most recent addition, Pain Resonance, allows the killer to remove a sizable chunk for the most progressed, by hooking a survivor. Yes. Now, let's not forget, you do have to hook him on a scourge hook. A loud noise notification also allows the killer to disrupt the survivors before they continue repairing. A jack of all trades sort, granting both a powerful regression effect and crucial information. Yeah, it's a good perk, imagine. With that in mind, we're removing the loud noise notification. Instead of exploding, the affected generator will now spark, and survivors will no longer scream. We believe this will ensure Pain Resonance remains a strong regression perk while limiting its informational aspects.
Now, I will say, like, Scourge Hook is incredibly strong now, but after you scream 1 time with Scourge Hook, you can play around it.
Yeah, but you know what that does? That is also a very, very large nerf to Dead Man Switch.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
That is a gigantic.
Right.
That Dead Man Switch is now completely useless.
It's that interaction that was...
Yeah, it's that combo. Because like to be totally honest with you, the loud noise notification, the explosion, was actually not a really good thing for me, because it blocked my auras with barbecue. Like I couldn't see barbecue because of the fucking explosion. It was kind of
the loud scream is like a huge aura.
It's a huge aura. The explosion is a huge aura, and so I couldn't see shit with barbecue. Because the gen would explode, and so I can't see if there's a person hiding behind that gen or even on that gen because of the explosion on the aura. It just sparking is good. Losing the scream is kind of rough.
Are you sure about the interaction with Dead Man Switch though? Because it does say it sparks. So if it's sparking, isn't
no? It's just like Jolt. Right? Jolt does the same thing. It sparks it, but you just stay on the gen.
You don't get knocked off of it.
So no, that's big. That's a huge. Yeah,
you're right. Nerf. You're right. But it is still good because it is a big.
Still good.
It is a.
But I feel like you almost like now. I actually like the interaction of Scourge Hook / barbecue now, because you're going to be able to see barbecue a little bit easier with it, not knocking them off and making the explosion. But the interaction with it and Dead Man's is dead. It's over.
I wonder if the way they went into this is like, they're like, okay, we're going to try to nerf these into a position where they're fine, but maybe still played. But if it turns out we just remove them from the game, that's fine too.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of them, just get them out.
Not that way, because like these have been meta for 1.5 years, 2 years. Like if
some of these have been meta for 5 years.
Yeah, that's why, like, if they just nerf it to the ground that nobody plays, I think that's actually not bad.
Yeah,
to be honest.
You're right.
Yeah.
As long as they do this often, which they close by saying they will. It's cool with me.
Scourge hook, I think I still use it. I actually might use it with barbecue. I don't know. It depends. It depends on what's good now.
See, you're just saying barbecue's dead, and now it might.
Yeah,
not
but
be.
with pain resonance, I think it might still be okay. I don't know. We'll see.